This is a working invoice reminder system built with a spreadsheet, Gmail drafts, and a free automation script. Every morning it checks which invoices are nearly due or overdue, prepares the correct reminder, and places it in Gmail for review. It does not blindly send anything. You check the customer, amount, invoice number, and tone before pressing send. In this video I will show you the complete structure, the safety rules, the script, and how to test it without risking a real customer relationship. The whole system follows one dependable sequence. First, the spreadsheet stores the facts. Second, the script calculates how late each invoice is. Third, it skips anything marked paid, disputed, or on hold. Finally, it creates a draft only when a new reminder stage has been reached. That separation is important. The spreadsheet is the source of truth, the script handles repetition, and you retain judgment. You can build this with a normal Google account, although Google applies usage quotas and asks you to authorize the script the first time it accesses Gmail. Start with a blank spreadsheet and rename the first tab Invoices. Add 9 column headings exactly to show new customer, email, invoice, amount, due date, status, reminder stage, last action, and draft status. Exact names matter because the script looks them up. This is safer than relying on column letters, because you can move the columns later without breaking the logic. Use a real date value in due date, not text that merely looks like a date. Status should use a short controlled list unpaid, paid, hold, or disputed. Before adding real customers, create 3 test rows using email addresses you control. Make 1 invoice unpaid and overdue, 1 paid, and 1 disputed. The expected result is simple, only the unpaid row should produce a draft. This tiny test catches the most dangerous class of mistake, contacting someone who should not be contacted. During development, never use a customer email address. Sample data also lets you move the due dates backwards and forwards to test each reminder stage. Open extensions, then app script, and paste in the provided code. The first function opens the invoices sheet, reads every row, and matches each heading to a column number. It checks that all 9 required columns exist before doing any work. For every invoice it reads the status, recipient, and due date. Rows with a missing email, an invalid date, or a status of paid, hold, or disputed are ignored immediately. This is called failing closed if the data is incomplete or sensitive. The automation does nothing. Next comes the reminder schedule. From 3 days before the due date, the invoice becomes due soon. 1 day after the due date, it reaches first reminder. 7 days overdue, it reaches second reminder. The code chooses the highest stage that applies, then compares it with the reminder stage already stored in the sheet. If they match, it skips the row. That prevents a new draft being created every morning for the same stage. Change these timings to match your payment terms, but keep the stages simple enough that you can explain them to a customer. The message builder inserts the customer name, invoice number, amount, and due date into a restrained template. It also says that the reminder can be ignored if payment has already been made, and invites the customer to reply if they need another copy or want to discuss the invoice. Replace the placeholder business name before using the system. Avoid threats, invented late fees, or legal language unless your contract and local rules genuinely support them. Automation should make a good process consistent. It should not turn an aggressive message into a faster aggressive message. Here is the most important design choice. The code uses Gmail app create draft, not send email. The system records the new reminder stage and writes review in Gmail into the draft status column. You then open Gmail, check the draft against the original invoice and payment records, make any necessary adjustment, and send it yourself. Fully automatic sending sounds more impressive, but payment records can be delayed, customers can be in dispute, and data can be wrong. 1 approval click is a sensible price for protecting trust. Save the project and run create reminder drafts manually. Google will ask you to select an account and authorize access, because the script creates Gmail drafts and edits the spreadsheet. Review that request carefully. The first run should use only sample rows. Afterwards, open Gmail drafts and verify 4 things. The recipient is yours. The invoice number and amount match the sheet. Only the unpaid test produced a draft, and the sheet recorded the reminder stage. If any check fails, stop and fix the input before installing automation. Once the manual test passes, run install daily trigger. It checks whether a trigger already exists, then creates a time-driven trigger that runs approximately once each morning. Google notes that clock trigger times may be slightly randomized, so this is appropriate for daily administration, not something that must happen at an exact minute. The trigger runs under the account that created it. If the script fails later, app's script can send a failure notice and its execution history can help you diagnose the problem. Do one final test matrix before adding real records. An invoice due in 10 days should do nothing. One due in 2 days should create a due soon draft. One overdue by 2 days should create a first reminder. One overdue by 8 days should create a second reminder. Paid, disputed, and hold rows should always do nothing. Run the script twice without changing the data and confirm that the second run creates no duplicate drafts. Then change just one due date and verify that only the expected row advances. This spreadsheet does not know whether a bank transfer is currently pending, whether a customer has phoned your colleague, or whether an invoice contains an error. It is not accounting software, legal advice, or a replacement for accurate records. Keep access to the sheet restricted, avoid placing unnecessary personal information inside it, and remove test data before using real records. If your business sends enough messages to approach Google quotas or needs payment reconciliation, move to proper invoicing software rather than forcing this small system beyond its purpose. Spreadsheet template and apps script used in this video are included with the video package. Copy them, replace the sample data, and test with your own address before using any real customer information. This is the kind of automation Solo Systems Lab is about: the small, inspectable systems that remove repetition while keeping responsibility with a person. Subscribe for the next build, where we will turn an untidy inbox into a daily action list without letting artificial intelligence send replies on its own.